Hare Krishna. So in this fourth canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, which we are starting today, there are 31 chapters. 31 chapter hai. And all of these chapters describe what is called the secondary creation of Lord Brahma and the Manus. Okay. So in this first chapter of the fourth canto, this which is what we are going to discuss today, there are descriptions of the three daughters of Swayambhuva Manu. Swayambhuva Manu is the direct son of Lord Brahma, who is created basically to increase population in this world. That is his, that is his role. So if you remember in the third canto, Swayambhuva Manu had three daughters we had discussed. One of those daughters was Devahuti. And Devahuti, she got married to Kardama Muni, and then from their union came 9 daughters, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead came as Lord Kapila Dev. So we discussed that whole story, and then we came to Lord Kapila Dev's teachings to his mother Devahuti, and that completed the third canto. And then in the fourth canto now, the conversation continues. Okay. So the first chapter talks about the descriptions of the three daughters of Swayambhu Manu and their descendants. The next 6 chapters talk about one of the most fascinating pastimes in Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the sacrifice performed by King Daksha and how it was spoiled. So Srimad Bhagavatam, the fourth canto, it teaches us bhakti in the 3 modes. Okay, bhakti we have discussed in the past also that bhakti can be performed in mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. So first, these 6 chapters of Daksha are basically bhakti of someone who is in the mode of ignorance. Then then we'll discuss. The next story that comes is Dhruva Maharaj. Activities of Dhruva are described in the next 5 chapters. Okay. After 6 chapters of Daksha, then 5 chapters of Dhruva, which is bhakti in the mode of passion. And then the activities of King Prithu are described, who is also a partial incarnation of the Lord, which is bhakti in the mode of goodness. And then there are various chapters devoted to the activities of the Pracheta kings, which will come much later. So the big canto, fourth canto, the big canto, there is a lot of katha. As I said that day also, that third canto में बहुत heavy philosophy था. तोड़ के philosophy था. So for those who are very patiently, who have somehow survived through third canto, heavy philosophy, and have made it to fourth canto. Fourth canto, there's a lot of katha. So yeah, that's what this fourth canto is all about. So Swayambhu Manu, as it is said, he had 3 daughters and 2 sons. Okay. So one of the daughters we said was Devahuti, who got married to Kardama Muni. She had 9 daughters and Lord Kapila as a son. So remember we are discussing Manu, who is a progenitor, and how the population of the world was increased by the descendants of King Manu. This is coming from the inquiry of Vidura, that how did the creation happen? How did the primary creation happen? How did the secondary creation happen? Tell me about the kings, tell me about Manu. He wants to know about Manu and Manu's descendants, because Manu is also a very exalted personality, direct son of Lord Brahma, coming specifically for purpose of creating mankind and giving rules for mankind how to operate. So Manu plays a very important role. So therefore Vidura is asking about it. So like that. So 9 daughters and Lord Kapila. Then his second daughter, her name was Akuti. Akuti. Okay. And Akuti was married to a sage called Ruchi. And the third daughter was Prasuti. So Devahuti, Akuti, and Prasuti. So Akuti we will come back. We'll come back to Akuti. Prasuti was married to Prajapati Daksha. Okay, and we'll see the story unfolding. Kaise unfold hota hai. It's very interesting that Srimad Bhagavatam is a conversation. See, it is not just some random recording of historical events. It is recording of historical events, but there is a flow to it. We have to catch that flow. Because अगर आप श्रीमद् भागवतम पढ़ते हो, any of you are reading Srimad Bhagavatam? Raise your hand. Anyone who's reading? Yeah. So if you are reading Srimad Bhagavatam, if you read it like आज एक पैराग्राफ पढ़ा, फिर 10 दिन बाद एक और पैराग्राफ पढ़ा, 3-4 पेज पढ़ा, 10 दिन बाद और 4-5 पेज पढ़ा, and over a year you are reading like this, you will appreciate all the katha, you will appreciate all the purpose, but कुछ पल्ले नहीं पड़ेगा. You will not get the flow. It's very difficult to catch the flow of Srimad Bhagavatam. Especially by the time second canto has started, third canto तो पूरा तमाम तक चला जाता है, तो समझ में नहीं आता. So therefore, it is important to understand this is a conversation. Okay, so Prasuti, she got married to Daksha Prajapati, and we'll talk about him as well. So Akuti was the one of the daughters was married to Ruchi. So it is described in this chapter that when Manu, no, when Swayambhu Manu gave his daughter Akuti to this rishi Ruchi, okay, he told Ruchi that if you have a son, you give me the son. So Srila Prabhupada says there used to be this practice in the past that the father-in-law would say that if you have a son, you give me a son, because either he didn't have a son or for some other reason. So Prabhupada says that not that he didn't have a son, he had two sons, two very great sons, Uttanapad and Priyavrat. Great sons he had, but still he asked for a son. So from Ruchi, okay, and Akuti, Yajna and Dakshina were born. Yajna was the Supreme Lord who came. So we say Yajna, no? Yajna, we say Yajnapati. That the Lord Vishnu is the recipient of all Yajna that we do. So that is this Yajna, who was an incarnation of the Supreme Lord. And Dakshina was the Mother Lakshmi. It's like Mother Lakshmi who came as Dakshina. Now you may say that brother and sister, how can they get married? So maybe that is the arrangement that as soon as Yajna was born, he was taken away by Swayambhu Manu, and Dakshina stayed with Ruchi and Akuti, and then after they grew, because they are basically consorts, finally they got married. From them they had 12 boys. They had 12 boys who were called the Tushitas. They became Devatas. They became Devatas known as Tushitas. Then Prasuti, as I said, got married to Prajapati Daksha. Now Daksha is not an ordinary soul. His name is Daksha because he is, what is the meaning of Daksha? Anyone knows? What is Daksha? Expert. What is he expert in? In being progenitor, mainly in being progenitor, or in producing children. He is a Prajapati and he is an expert Prajapati, Daksha Prajapati. And he was the son, direct son of Lord Brahma. Very, very powerful personality, very, very effulgent personality. You know, because he is son of Brahma and he's been specifically given this service, he was in a very, very powerful position. And from that position, he was doing his seva. So this is Prasuti, she got married to him. So we will come back to Daksha soon, okay? And then he also had two sons. Swayambhu Manu had two sons. 3 daughters, 2 sons. Who are the 2 sons? One is Uttanapad. And Uttanapad later on became, 6 chapters later we'll see, he is the father of Dhruv Maharaj. Okay? So Uttanapad ka story aega. And Priyavrat Maharaj, his story comes in the next canto, the 5th canto. Okay, so मतलब ये एक शुरुआत, this is the seed. अभी इसमें से बहुत कुछ निकलता है. So Srimad Bhagavatam, we may be wondering why are they giving all these descriptions of the descendants of Manu? उसकी 3 बेटियां थी, 2 बेटे थे, बेटे की इसकी शादी हुई, उसकी शादी हुई, and why we are hearing all this? You know, we are somewhere connected to them. Any other reason why we are listening to this? If you are saying that Parikshit Maharaj has got 7 days to live. और उसमें उसको ये स्टोरी वोरी सुना रहे, विदुर ने कुछ पूछा, वो मनु के डिसेंडेंट्स कौन है, why he is giving all these details, why do we need to hear all these details? चलो they spoke, why are we hearing? हमको तो you can skip through all this, why do we have to hear this? Any thoughts? Huh? Yes, definitely. In each of these, as you see the names that are coming up, जो descendants है, एक से एक महान व्यक्ति है, so many great personalities. Not all, I'm not going to mention all, I'm going to mention only a few of them. Okay, but some amazing personalities appeared in this line. Okay, as the descendants of Manu and Manu's daughters and his sons. Okay, so that's another reason. Any other thoughts? Why we have to listen to this? हमें क्यों सुनना है? Because there are millions of people all over the world and various social media influencers and thought leaders and so many other people who will tell you descended from apes or chimpanzees. You came, as Radha Gopinath Prabhu says, you came directly from the branches to the benches. Branches पे थे, पेड़ पे ऐसे कूद रहे थे like a chimpanzee. And then from the branches you came to the benches. School के जो bench होते हैं ना, उस पे आ गया. So that's what many people would like you to believe. So when someone tells you that our ancestors were apes, what we should say? Maybe yours were. हमारे तो Ismail, Manu and all, they all mentioned in our scripture. We don't know about you. So it's very clear actually. The scriptures explain all the details. Why? So that we know who our ancestors are. Who are these great people who started the process? How Brahma was created, the first living entity, how he was created. Then how he created the secondary creation. उन्होंने खाली raw material देखा, he saw the pradhan, he saw just the raw materials, the ingredients he saw of creation. Then he prayed to the Lord. अभी वही चल रहा है मंदिर में, prayers of Lord Brahma for creative energy. That is what is going on right now. So he prays that, my Lord, please give me the intelligence to create. And what intelligence he got to create? Unbelievable. Our creation is so amazing, right? So all this is created by Brahma. Then Brahma, after creating the various species, then he has to now expand the species, because जितने living entities हैं who are situated in the body of Mahavishnu since the last dissolution, they have to get bodies as per their previous karma, as per their previous desires. They have to get bodies. So उतने bodies, उतना population चाहिए, तो population बनाएगा कौन? That's why he creates people like Swayambhu Manu, like Prajapati. He created the four Kumaras also, but he said, Baba, हमको नहीं चाहिए ये सेवा. We don't want to get married. We don't want to be in Maya. नहीं चाहिए हमको. Right? So here's a frustration. But then, slowly, the different species were created, different, population was created in this earth. So that's why we read these stories, to understand that there is a history to mankind. Puranas, what we call mythology, is just a word given by the British people to us. There is nothing called mythology in our scriptures. Mythology comes from the word myth. Myth in English means false, imaginary. That's what a myth is. This is a mythical, kalpanik cheez hai. Just imagination. That's what a myth is, right? And mythology is study of this kalpanik thing. So by calling our scriptures, by calling our Puranas, Itihasas as mythology, what have they done? With one word, they have destroyed the faith that we have in our own scriptures. This is mythology. Mythological characters. You see, even today, when journalists write the mythological character of Krishna, mythological character of Lord Ram, in our mythological scriptures, but without knowing, subtly they are saying that he is such. You see? So therefore, when we read, we will be so grateful to Srila Prabhupada. मतलब हम लोग अपने we say ना ऋण, अभी recently we celebrated, not celebrated, we हम लोग ने ये जो क्या बोलते हैं उसको पितृपक्ष, पितृपक्ष अभी गया ना लास्ट मंथ में। पितृपक्ष में क्या करते हैं? वी आर पेइंग आवर डेट to our dead parents, grandparents, grand uncles, grand aunts. वो पूरा एक elaborate system है वो of thanking everyone and sending, sending some offering to them so that wherever they are benefited. They are receiving Lord Vishnu's prasad. So wherever they are benefited. So Muralidhar Prabhu, he was telling us that माता पिता का जो ऋण है, मदर फादर का जो ऋण है, you can never repay. अब चाहे जो कर लो, you keep them very nicely, उनको अच्छे से घर में रखो, उनकी सेवा करो till they leave their body, you are serving them. You can still not repay what they have done. माता पिता का ऋण कभी उतरता ही नहीं है. You can never say कि मैंने I have done enough, हो गया. अरे my father served me for only 20 years, but I have served him for 50 years. वो उसका कोई मतलब नहीं, So you have to understand. So this is what Srila Prabhupada has given us. I mean, what read we have to Srila Prabhupada, we cannot even calculate. He has given us the Bhagavad Gita as it is, with translations and purports, so that we can understand it. भगवत गीता पे हाथ रख के जो भी कहूंगा सच कहूंगा, सच के सिवा कुछ नहीं कहूंगा. और 2 वर्षेस जो महाभारत सीरियल में सीखा था, बस अपना भगवत गीता उतना ही सीमित था, उसके आगे कुछ नहीं जानी. We don't know anything else. Somehow, because of Srila Prabhupada, so many things he gave us. He gave us DT, beautiful DT worship all over the world. He gave us Srimad Bhagavatam. He gave us Chaitanya Charitamrita. He gave us Bhagavad. ये बैठ के मैं जो बात कर रहा हूँ, confidently talking, is because Srila Prabhupada has given the philosophy in such a simple way that कोई बच्चा भी इसको पढ़ के बात कर सकता. कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है. Even children can pick up this philosophy. That's why we have our Upam Fun School, where children are learning from the books of Srila Prabhupada. Isn't it amazing? He's given us all of this. He's given us temples. He's given us devotees. He's given us the philosophy. He's given us how to offer food, how to eat food, how to wear clothes, how to tilak. सब कुछ सिखाया. How much we should be grateful. Otherwise, we would be believing the scientists. I believe till at least I came into engineering. I also believed, I used to study very nicely all that, genetics and, theory of natural selection, survival of the fittest. I used to believe all of that, evolution, Charles Darwin, सब believe करता था. हाँ, बराबर ऐसा ही हो. Now, thanks to Srila Prabhupada, I found that that was all nonsense that has been fed to us for centuries. Time to change, no? Time to accept. And our scriptures are wonderful, transcendent. Satyavadi. What is that? Acha, Satyavadi. Okay, it's a study of the truth. What Srila Prabhupada has given is Satyavadi. Okay, so then, again, Akuti, Devahuti, and Prasuti. Okay, so now, what is described in the chapter? Okay, आगे का chapter में क्या description दिया है कि जो कर्दम मुनि के साथ देवहूति का वेडिंग हुआ था. They had 9 daughters and 1 son, Lord Kapila Dev. So 9 daughters का अलग-अलग description is given, that this one got married to this one got married to this one, and these children. I'm not going to go into all of that. Don't worry, बहुत ज़्यादा हो जाएगा, आप लोग के लिए भी ज़्यादा हो जाएगा. I'm just taking few of the essential ones, which we should know about, which is like, we know these characters, we have heard these names. So therefore, I'm not just focused on those. So one of the daughters, Kala, she got married to Marichi. Marichi is going to be mentioned in other places also. So Marichi, and their son was Kashyapa. So Kashyapa Muni, many people have heard. We heard in third canto also, Kashyapa. They're not this Kashyapa, the same Kashyapa got married to Diti, because another wife is mentioned here, but I believe it is the same one. Kashyapa Muni, who got married to Diti, and Diti and Kashyapa ka untimely union से who was born? हिरण्याक्ष and हिरण्यकशिपु, जिसका हमने पिक्चर भी देख लिया एकदम बढ़िया वाला. So that is Kashyapa Muni. So एक महान व्यक्ति देखो, ये पूरे कुल से आते एक से एक. Okay, then from Atri, Atri Muni and Anasuya. Atri Muni and Anasuya, he describes, Maitreya tells Vidura that from Atri Muni and Anasuya were born Soma. Soma is the moon god. Dattatreya, whom we have all heard about, and Durvasa. Durvasa Muni also is very famous. He appears all through Srimad Bhagavatam, busy cursing everyone. You know, so they are a partial representation of Soma is partial representation of Brahma. Dattatreya is partial representation of Lord Vishnu, and Shiva, Shiva's partial representation is Durvasa Muni. So he is saying, वो फटाफट बोलते जा रहे हैं कि देखो इनका ये इनके साथ इनका शादी हो गया, फिर उनके ये बच्चे एक मिनट अरे ये अत्रि के फैमिली में ब्रह्मा, विष्णु एंड लॉर्ड शिवा महेश तीनों के तीनों पुत्र होके कैसे आ गए? इट्स वेरी अनहर्ड ऑफ, कहीं सुना नहीं होगा कि एक ही फैमिली में ब्रह्मा, विष्णु और महेश तीनों ऐसे बेटे बन के आए. ऐसा कैसा हो सकता है? How is this possible? So when he asks this question, then Maitreya explains. Maitreya says that this Atri Muni, he performed great austerities when he was married to Agastya. And again, all of them are given the service of being Prajapati, of producing progeny, right? So some of them are such great sages that before they produce progeny, they first pray to the Lord, like Kardama Muni did. But Kardama Muni, he knew whom he was praying to. He was praying to the Supreme Lord Vishnu in his mind, and then Lord Vishnu appeared before him. But Atri, it is described, was not such a evolved personality. उसको उतना clarity से मालूम नहीं था कि who is Supreme Lord. So when he did his austerities and when he did his prayers, what did he pray? He said, "May the Lord of the universe, may the Lord of the universe, of whom I have taken shelter, kindly be pleased to offer me a son exactly like him." So he's saying, "May the Lord of the universe, whom I have taken shelter, let him kindly be pleased with me and give me a son exactly like him." So now, when he prayed like this, his austerities was so, इतना कड़ा austerity किया कि same thing. When these yogis they do austerity, it creates so much heat. इतना उसमें से तेज निकलता है कि disturbance create हो जाता है. So then the devatas go and say, देखो क्या है. Now, when Atri was praying like this, he prayed Lord of the universe, okay, and Brahma, Lord Vishnu, Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva, all three of them appeared in front of him. He had prayed Lord of the universe. उसने clearly बोला नहीं था कि ब्रह्मा जी आप आओ, Lord Vishnu you come, Lord Shiva. But he is also not very clear, not terribly clear in his mind that who is the. He said Lord of the universe, please come and give me a son exactly like you. All three of them come. So Srila Prabhupada points out an interesting point over here. He says that, like in the 7th chapter, it is mentioned that 4 types of people approach me. Arti, Arthati, Jnani, Jigyasu. Right? These 4 types of people approach me. Krishna says, the Gita. So, some people in this material world, they pray without even knowing whom they are praying to. ये देखा है आप लोगों ने? किसको प्रे कर रहे हो? नहीं वो ऐसे ही भगवान, कौन सा भगवान? नहीं बस हम ऐसे ही भगवान को मानते हैं, हम मालूम नहीं कौन है, बस कोई पावर है. But the Lord is so merciful, even when someone is worshipping God without calling his name, उनका नाम भी नहीं लिया है, फिर भी भगवान इतने कृपालु हैं, he is so kind, he still accepts them. He is not calling me, but still I am taking it. कोई बात नहीं, I am accepting, तुम मुझे दे रहे हो. So kind, the Lord is so kind actually, he gives us everything, even if you don't believe. I don't believe in God. कोई भरोसा नहीं, कोई गॉड वॉड होता नहीं है, सब बकवास है, सब मन गढ़ंत कहानियां हैं, ये सब माइथोलॉजी है, ये सब. Even if you say mythology, like if son tells the father, if don't say Dhruv, I hope Dhruv doesn't understand this. Suppose Dhruv tells tomorrow, I don't accept you as my father, but still he will take care of him till he is very old also. He will still take care of him because father always loves the child. It's like that. I remember once I went to Hubli many years back. I was a child at that time, 6, 7 years old maybe. Not to Hubli. When I went to Hubli, over there, we had stayed at one lady's house. My mother's my mother's father's aunt. She was really old. She was 92 years old. Okay. But she was a unique person. I think एक बार मैंने यहाँ पे mention किया है, very unique person. She had very long hair. I remember distinctly. Widow, and she was living with her son. Okay, son was something like 72 years old, and she was 92 years old, and her hair was from her head to her knees. Long thick hair. उस जमाने का genuine बाल जो होता है ना, 92 years old, hair was till her knees, and proper Indira Gandhi जैसा, half black, half white. Exact as a 50-50 split, okay? आधा black, आधा white ऐसा. So very unique personality, And she had असं बोलते ना खनखनीत आवाज भी उसका एकदम कड़क आवाज था. And the son who was 72 years old, he was little bent over. She was like a proper खड़ी रहती थी. And when they're crossing the road, you see, you don't forget these things. ना ऐसा याद रहता है ऐसा चीज. They are crossing the road, and she is holding his hand and taking him across. At 92 also she feels मेरा बेटा है, इसको मेरे को देखना है. And मतलब he had already become so weak that he's not able to walk properly. So she's holding his hand and taking him across. So the Supreme Lord is so merciful that if you don't accept that he exists, you don't accept that he is giving you everything. आपको जो खाना मिल रहा है, आपको लगता है खाना कहाँ से आता है? डीमार्ट से आता है. डीमार्ट से आता है ना. Children feel that food comes from DMart. Zepto से भी आता है ना? Zepto से आता है कि नहीं? हाँ, Zepto से, स्विगी से आता है, इंस्टामार्ट से आता है, और कौन सा है? Blinkit से आता है. So children, see, we can't blame them because this is what they get to see. They don't see that food is grown from the earth. Farmer अपना खून पसीना एक करके वो खाना अनाज बनाता है. वो अनाज उसको 2 रुपया किलो मिलता है, 5 रुपए किलो मिलता है, एंड ही देन सेल्स इट, एंड यहाँ पे हम लोग को 40 रुपया में मिलता है वही चीज, राइट? So yeah, we don't see that the Lord is providing everything to us. सब कुछ भगवान दे रहे हैं हम लोग को, बट फिर भी हम लोग कभी कभी भगवान का इमाज भी नहीं, don't even accept that what we are receiving is by grace of the Lord. Find it difficult to do that. But here you see that Atri was just praying, may Supreme Lord appear. Well, any one of them could have appeared, but all three appeared. So when he sees, so Prabhupada is pointing out that the Lord is, someone may have a material desire and approach God without even knowing his name. ऐसे वो टीटी के सामने जाके, मैंने बहुत बार देखा है, people walking past temple ना, टेम्पल से बाजू से जा रहे हैं, तो वो लोग का एक यूनिक स्टाइल है ऑफ paying ऐसा कुछ एक just slightly bow their neck, right? ये भी देखा है मैंने, ऐसा किस करके, मतलब दे हाफ क्रिश्चियन जेस्चर, हाफ इंडियन जेस्चर, मतलब पूरा मिक्स है. बट फिर भी लॉर्ड एक्सेप्ट, ही बाउड टुवर्ड्स मी, मतलब उसने पूरा बाउ भी किया नहीं, पर फिर भी भगवान उसको एक्सेप्ट कर लेते. सो ग्रेसफुल, so grateful, so compassionate Lord we have. So the Prabhupada points this. Another point he makes is that he says that this is not pure bhakti. Prabhupada, ये भी Prabhupada छोड़ते नहीं point, that he could have, he says that whoever is the Lord of the universe, please offer me a son like you. Prabhupada could have said, I want you as my son. He could have asked for the Lord that please, I want you as my son, but he said, give me a son like you. I don't want you. So Prabhupada said this is not pure bhakti, and he could have asked for the Lord himself, like Kardama did, but instead he asked for a son like him. There's a lesson in this for us. इसमें हम लोग कुछ सीख सकते हैं कि if someone offers you, आज ही मतलब जी आपको अगर अभी ऑफर मिल गया कि अभी आप ये रूम से बाहर जाते हैं, वहां पे गोपीनाथ जी खड़े हैं, स्टैंडिंग देयर, Will you rush out of the room or will you feel like that's what time के बाद पता नहीं क्यों खड़े हैं इसको लेके जाने के लिए खड़े हैं why is he standing we hesitate even if we know Supreme Lord is going to come we will hesitate see if we go to the temple ना temple में जाते हैं राधा गोपीनाथ मंदिर में जाते हैं see theoretically तो हमने सुना है कि this deity is not different than Krishna मूर्ति नहीं तुम्ही साक्षात ब्रजेंद्र नंदन दिस इज व्हाट इज अस टीचर इज नॉट अ मूर्ति साक्षात ब्रजेंद्र बिकॉज यहाँ पे प्राण प्रतिष्ठा किया गया है सम प्योर डिवोटी हैज इनवाइटेड द लॉर्ड टू कम एंड रिसाइड इन दिस ब्यूटी ये हमें थियोरेटिकली सुना है ना फिर भी हम लोग मंदिर एकदम बिंदास जाते हैं ना एकदम बिंदास we walk into temple we pay obeisances we go and stand in front and look what if we actually see Gopinath looking at us one day when you are standing and praying, you are looking at the deity, and you experience deity looking at you, and little smile, little movement. Huh? You run. You get so afraid. Because we pretend we are devotee and खुद ऐसा तिलक, घंटीमाला, धोती, कुर्ता वगैरह सब एकदम झकास करके आते हैं. But if really Lord comes and says, हाँ बेटा चलो, okay Sumana, come back with me. नहीं, मेरे को थोड़ा टाइम है, मेरे बच्चे अभी बड़े नहीं हुए हैं, मेरा ये नहीं हुआ, मेरा I'm not had a grandson yet. Please give me some time. This is our situation. So then Atri said, give me a son like you. I don't know what you do. It's very difficult to see if you have the Lord in front of you all the time. अगर पूरा टाइम भगवान आपके बाजू में बैठे, तो आप कितने कॉन्फिडेंस से सेंस ग्रेटिफिकेशन कर पाओगे? कर पाएंगे क्या? नहीं कर पाएंगे. करेंगे नहीं करेंगे. What's the vote? Suppose Lord is sitting right in front of you. यहीं पे बाजू में बैठे हैं. जैसे विठल, Lord विठल देव we discussed, no? That he comes to the door of क्या नाम है? नहीं not जाना है. वो जो कुंडरी के घर पे आके खड़े हो गए वहां पे. हाँ. और एक मिनट जरा मैं पेरेंट्स की सेवा कर रहा हूँ, आप यहीं पे रुको. Now imagine if Lord comes and stands like this in front of you and you are eating your food. आप क्या करोगे? मतलब खाओगे बट मैं वेरी कॉन्शियस के देख रहे मैं कैसे खाऊं? यू नो मैंने स्विगी से कुछ मंगाया था, इडली मंगाया था, तो मैं कैसे खाऊं इसको? Feel very conscious. You cannot enjoy, right? Very difficult to enjoy because Lord is right in front of you. So yeah. At one level now, all of us, despite having so much exposure to the words of scripture, so much chanting, so much guidance, so many things we have got in bhakti. इतना कुछ मिला अपने को. कुछ हद तक ना हम सब नास्तिक हैं. सब नास्तिक हैं. ये बच्चों को लगता है मोही नास्तिक है हम लोग नास्तिक. Because I just said, it is the Lord is right in front of you. Be very conscious, right? Front of me is residing in your own heart. Still, we act as though भगवान है. हम अपना enjoyment करते रहते हैं. I think कि ठीक है यार, मतलब भगवान देख नहीं रहे, कटन बंद है अपना. So yeah, this is the thing, that probably Atri is thinking about that. I want son like you. I don't want you. Because the Prabhupada catches it immediately. This is not pure bhakti. Don't be confused. This is why Acharya is so important. Because if we just read the verse, think, इतना glorious है ना Atri, इतना austerity करके he asked for a son like the Lord only. So glorious ना? But when we read the words of Acharyas, then we really understand what really is the motivation of this person. Yeah? Okay. So like this. So the Lords appear in front of him. When he sees Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and Lord Shiva, मतलब उनमें से एक भी सामने आ जाए, तो the effulgence is enough to blind you. एक भी, तीनों साथ में आ गए, तो क्या experience होगा उनको? So he saw the effulgence, it was so blinding. He just closed his eyes. He closed his eyes, and he said, "I offer my respectful obeisances unto all of you. But I beg to inquire from you that whom from you three I have called through my prayer." मेरे को भी नहीं पता मैंने किसको बुलाया. मैंने सिर्फ the Lord of the universe, please come. आप में से कौन Lord of the universe है मेरे को नहीं पता. He said, I don't know who you are. So all three of them smile. They smile and they say, the Lord, they say that we are all the same person upon whom you were meditating, and therefore we have all come to you. So Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport very beautifully. He gives a very logical explanation. He says that in one sense, all three of them are lords of the universe. If you see the original creation, the universes spring from the body of Mahavishnu. From each universe, within each universe, there is Garbho Daktai Vishnu, who is also like Lord of the universe, Lord of that universe. In that universe, from the navel of Garbho Daktai Vishnu, Lord Brahma comes, and then Lord Brahma creates everything that we see. This body, this nature, everything is created by Brahma. Brahma is also Lord of the universe. And Lord Shiva ultimately is going to destroy the whole creation. Everything is going to be destroyed by him. He is also Lord of the universe. Prabhupada explains very nicely that Lord of the universe बोला तो हम तीनों आ गए. और क्या कर सकते हैं like that. So since you are thinking of having a son exactly like Supreme Personality of God and Lord of the universe, your determination will be fulfilled. You will have sons who represent a partial manifestation of our potency. So that is why Lord Brahma's partial representation became Soma. Lord Vishnu's partial representation became Dattatreya. And Lord Shiva's partial representation became Durvasa Muni. So Durvasa Muni now, Gauranga Prabhu explains. Durvasa, the meaning of the word Durvasa. Durvasa ka meaning क्या है इस word का? Anyone knows? Bad word. Huh? Bad. Clothes पे रहने वाले. Vas means clothes. Dur means bad. Bad clothes. Okay, that's what it literally means. Meaning Durvasa would not wear clothes. Not that he's wearing bad clothes. He was not clothed. He never wear clothes. Durvasa. Now he has played such a critical role in the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the Mahabharata, everywhere. Ramayana, wherever you see Durvasa keeps appearing. Durvasa, though he is known for his anger, but his anger generally initiates pastimes. उनके गुस्से से, see Lord Shiva, whatever he does, no, it ultimately glorifies the Lord of. Whatever Lord Shiva does, it glorifies the Supreme Lord. So Durvasa also we should not. हम लोग कभी कभी लगता है ना स्क्रिप्चर पढ़ के लगता है ये इंद्रदेव क्या व्यक्ति है शी व्हाट इज दिस इंद्रा छी और वी से व्हाट इज दिस दुर्वासा नो कांस्टेंटली गोइंग एंड गिविंग कर्सेस टू एवरीवन कोई काम नहीं है इनको to understand these are all great personalities अगर उनका उल्लेख भी आ रहा है भागवतम में इसलिए आ रहा है क्योंकि ये महान व्यक्ति है ग्रेट सोल्स okay then some more notable descendants of Swayambhu Manu Brihaspati. Brihaspati, who is Brihaspati? He is the guru of the Devatas. He also came in this lineage. Then there is Agastya Muni. Agastya Muni is one of the most colorful characters, mentioned in the scriptures. You see, he will be appearing in many places. बहुत सारे pastimes में Agastya Muni आते हैं. Even today, if you go to Chennai, okay, even today, if you go to Chennai, they have this book called Agastya Samhita. Agastya Samhita or something, I don't know what exactly it's called. Huh? Nadi Shastra. So, in Nadi Shastra is coming from Agastya. So, they say that you just every living entity, उसका पूरा history geography वो उसमें है. जाओ तुमको पूरा बता देगा पिछले जन्म में ये था ये जन्म में तुम्हारा ये हुआ अभी आगे ये होने वाला है सब बता देगा scary but this is the brilliance of this person Agastya not an ordinary soul he is the son of Pulastya okay and Pulatsya has sorry not Pulastya Pulatsya Muni he is the son of Pulatsya Muni and Pulatsya Muni has some more very illustrious children we'll come to that okay? So one of this Vishrava okay so Pulatsya Muni his son is Agastya. Agastya का अलग-अलग pastime है. Let's touch on 2-3 of them. One, in the 8th canto we hear that he cursed King Indradumna. King Indradumna was doing some, his own thing, he was in some meditation. And Agastya came to the place where this Indradumna Maharaj was doing his, whatever, his tapasya or his meditation. And when Agastya came with his followers, Indradumna Maharaj did not even acknowledge that he's come. He just ignored. He did what he was, continued doing what he was doing. So Agastya cursed him. Since you are acting like such a dull person, your next life will become a dull elephant. Whom did he become in his next life? He became Gajendra. And that story of Gajendra Moksha is there forever in the scriptures. So, even the curse, see now, very soon we are going to be celebrating our Kartik, month of Kartik. Start Mataji has sent message from 7th October, Kartik shuru ho jata hai. It is an opportunity for all of us to perform practical devotional service. रखो बाजू में बाकी सब कार्तिक महीने में practical bhakti we can do, offering lamps to the Lord, singing His glories in the Damodar Ashtakam, listening to beautiful Damodar Katha, which our Remuna Prabhu for full 1 month, every day and every day different. मैं पूरे साल में जितना करता हूँ ना उतना वो 1 महीने में कर लेते हैं 100 सोनार की एक लोहार की like covers everything in 1 month. So even the curse of these rishis, it never goes waste. Hey, Prabhuji, you came 10 seconds late. We're just glorifying you, you came 10 seconds late. So, even the curse of these rishis is actually a benediction. Even a rishi, if a genuine sadhu curses, you should not feel, "Arey, kya ho gaya?" Okay, curse bhi milana, it is a good thing. Because whenever they curse somebody, उसमें इसका फायदा ही होता है. He cursed Nahusha. Nahusha, who was made the king of heaven for some time, because Indra had been cursed and Indra had gone into hiding. So then, for some time, somebody had to own Indrapuri. So they brought Nahusha, who was a very great king. They brought Nahusha, but then Nahusha, moment he went there, वो उसका सर पे, as they say, power corrupts. The absolute power corrupts absolutely. But absolute power, so he got corrupted. He started, eyeing the wife of Indra, Sachi Devi. The Sachi Devi complained. She went and told the rishis, and Agastya was one of them. So again, Agastya cursed Nahusha. Then we see in many places actually Srila Prabhupada quotes from this Agastya Samhita. It is different from this Nadi Shastra. Alag hai. Agastya Samhita karke hai, which he has written, Agastya has written. Srila Prabhupada, if you see the portfolio, in many places he quotes from Agastya Samhita. Beautiful verses about the practices that a devotee should follow. They should chant, they should worship their deities. ये सब Agastya Samhita में दिया गया. There is another story. There are 2 more stories I'll tell of Agastya. Even Lord Ram also met Agastya. When he started his manvas, at the start, he met Agastya and Hare Krishna. So so he met Agastya Muni, and Agastya Muni gave him a bow called the Brahmadatta, and he gave him a quiver of inexhaustible arrows. उसमें एक ब्रह्मास्त्र भी था, and using that bow and that brahmastra, he shot it into the heart of Ravana where the Amrita was there, and he killed it. Right? So Agastya plays a role there as well. Then it is described the Vindhya Mountains. The Vindhya Mountains, which divide North and South India. We say North of India, South of India. So the Vindhya Mountains, it is described that they were growing so tall, that Agastya Muni felt that they are blocking the sunlight. Sunlight block ho raha hai, itna height ho raha hai uska. So he requested the father of Vindhya Mountain. He said that the personality of Vindhya Mountain, he said, can you please get the mountain to bend a little bit? He said that I am just going to cross over to South India. तो आप जब तक मैं साउथ में हूँ तब तक आप just थोड़ा bend करके रखो. Then when I come back, it will again become. So Vindhya said okay, and he bent to, and then he crossed over south. And Agastya never went back to the north. he settled in the south so that the Vindhya mountains don't become too tall. So that is why even today, the Vindhya mountains, they divide the north and south, but they are not so tall. Like the Himalayas, utna height nahi hai Vindhyas mein. Then there is another story of Agastya. I'll end with this one more story. It is described that when Lord Ram, when he was traveling, he used to come across these hermitages of various rishis. Various rishis. When he went to Agastya also, there were many rishis living there. And there were these two demons, Ilvala and Vatapi. Ilvala and Vatapi. They are also mentioned आगे भागवतम में इनका फिर से उल्लेख आता है. Ilvala and Vatapi were two demons. They are two brothers. What they used to do is Ilvala would dress up as a Sanskrit speaking Brahman, and he would invite all these sadhus to their home. Please come and honor prasad at my house. So he would dress up there and he would call them. And Vatapi would transform himself into food. And they would eat that food. And after eating that food, then Ilvala would call, Vatapi, please come out. Vatapi, please come out. Then Vatapi would take his full form, tear open the stomach of that person, come out, and then they would kill that sadhu and they would eat. I mean, that sadhu would be dead by now. They would eat his flesh. So, ऐसा horrible characters नहीं है अपने scriptures में, all kinds of stories here. So this Ilvala and Vatapi, they were doing this to many people. Agastya Muni को पता चल गया. So Agastya Muni went. When Ilvala invited, Agastya Muni said, "Okay, I'll come." So he went, and then he fed Vatapi का जो खाना बनाया था उसने खा लिया. And then it is described that Agastya took his hand and rolled it over his stomach like this. He said, "Be digested, Vatapi, be digested." And then Ilvala came and he started saying, "Vatapi, come out, come out." And Vatapi is not coming out only. "Vatapi, come out, come out." And Agastya Muni is grinning at him, looking at him and smiling. He said, "He's not going to come out now. I have my Jata Agni has digested him completely." This Ilvala gets so angry and he's about to attack him. So Agastya Muni, just by looking at him, he burns him to ashes. So ऐसे जो personalities हैं हमारे lineage और of Swayambhu Manu. Then Pulasya had another son, Vishrava, and Vishrava had two wives. From one of those wives was born Kuvera. Who is Kuvera? He is the treasurer. He is the king of the Yakshas and he is the treasurer of the gods. So Kuvera was the son of Pulasya. And from his second wife, he had three very illustrious sons. Who are they? Ravan, Kumbhakarna, and Vibhishan. Okay. So these were also one. Then some more personalities are mentioned. Shukracharya is mentioned. And Shukracharya is who? Brihaspati was the guru of the. And Shukracharya is the Danavas, of the Asuras. He is the guru of the Asuras. So all of them have come in the same line. So it is not necessary that आप भगवान विष्णु के डिजायर के अकॉर्डिंग ब्रह्मा जी के डिजायर के अनुसार आप सब कार्य कर रहे हो तो आपके घर में सब ध्रुव महाराज ही पैदा होंगे. ऐसा कहीं भी नहीं है. श्रीमद् भागवतम में ऐसा कहीं भी आपको इंडिकेशन नहीं है that you will get all wonderful devotees only as children. You may get a Shukracharya also. You may get a Ilvala also. You never know. Krishna says in the Gita that this misery and happiness in this material world are like coming and going of summer seasons. One time you will feel healthy, next day you will get a cough. One day you will be feeling energetic, next day you are not able to get up from bed. बीमारी हो गया, चिकनगुनिया हो गया, डेंगू हो गया, हिल भी नहीं सकते, कुछ भी नहीं कर सकते. So material world is like this. Don't think that, oh, now I've come to bhakti, everything will be all right after this. You have to perform bhakti, ananya bhakti, without thinking of ये करने से मेरा ये फायदा होगा, ये करने से मेरा ये बला टल जाएगी, सुख संपत्ति घर आवे, कष्ट मिटे तन का, ये सब छोड़ दो. This, even if you get it, again the misery is going to come back. Summer and winter seasons. Like that. So yeah, Shukracharya, Markandeya Muni, like that. Then he describes about the Prasuti and Prajapati Daksha at a summary level. And I'll end with this. Prajapati, Daksha and Prasuti had 16 daughters. 16 daughters. Okay. One of them, I mean, I'm only mentioning one of them. उनका भी पूरा description किया है कि who married whom and got how many children and what happened. Someone got 60,000 children. So, how the whole population of the world started from these people. That is all given. Not going there. But one of them, one of the daughters, Murti, she was married to Dharma. One of their daughters, from Murti and Dharma came Narayan Rishi. Narayan Rishi. So हम लोग ये जो रोज प्रेयर सिंग करते हैं ना, नारायणम नमस्कृत्य नरम चैव नरोत्तमम. Narayanam and Narayan Rishi, they are coming from this same lineage. Supreme Personality of Godhead who incarnated as Narayan Rishi. Later it is also mentioned that the same Narayan Rishi, Maitreya tells Vidura that that same Narayan Rishi are now incarnated as Krishna and Arjuna. So ye bhi mentioned. Okay. So he mentions about 14 daughters. Then the 15th daughter he mentions. He says in the conclusion of the chapter, the 16th daughter of Prajapati Daksha was Sati. She couldn't produce any child, though she very faithfully engaged in the service of her husband, Lord Shiva. So the reason why, he says the reason why this happened, he says that Sati's father, Daksha, he used to scold Lord Shiva, in spite of Lord Shiva being faultless. There is no fault in Lord Shiva. You cannot find any fault in him. Anyone who finds fault in Lord Shiva, the fault is in them. Very clear. मतलब उसमें अगर आपको भगवान शिव में भी कोई दिक्कत दिख रही है, तो basically आप में ही दिक्कत. So he is faultless, but still Daksha would constantly find fault with Lord Shiva. So because of that, before attaining a mature age to have a child, Sati gave up her body by dint of a yogic process. So this is how the first chapter of fourth canto ends. And the second chapter, which we will discuss next time. I don't know when the next time is there, because now we are going to have yatra. But the second chapter starts with Vidur asking. तो विदुर ने सुन लिया, इतने सारे बच्चे पैदा हो गए, ये हुआ वो हुआ, everyone had children, but Sati didn't have child. Why? Because her father Daksha was constantly criticizing. बाहर है ना? Just all going towards the pool. So Vidura asked the question, why was Daksha, who was so affectionate towards his daughter? आज का भागवतम क्लास किसने सुना हुआ इधर? Anyone heard? सुबह का? Rajbihari Gopal, ultimate class. Whole class was on the one word affection. Super. So anyway, he said, why was Daksha, who was so affectionate towards his daughter, why was he envious towards Lord Shiva, who is the gentlest, best among the gentle people? Why did he neglect his daughter Sati? ऐसा क्यों हुआ? ऐसा क्यों हुआ सुनने के लिए please join for next time. हरे कृष्णा. श्रील प्रभुपाद की, श्रील गुरुदेव की, श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की, जय गौर प्रेमानंदी. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. I don't know if you have time. We have time. Any questions, comments? Anyone would like to add or any questions? Yes.
He is also Lord himself. The video said that among the community we have then he becomes
the guru of the. Yeah. It is possible. The Lord in the 10th canto, he's saying that, see, he's giving analogies. Okay, Lord in 10th canto, not 10th canto, 10th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna in the Chatushloki Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has already declared, Aham Sarvasya Prabhu, I am everything. Everything emanates from me. My devotees, this is how they deal. So he's given the essence of everything in those 4 words. Then after that, Arjuna says, no, my Lord, you are the Supreme Lord, I accept, all the sadhus accept, he gives that. Then after that, Arjuna tells, God, tell me a little bit more about your opulence. So then, in response to that, Krishna starts speaking. So, usme Krishna gives different analogies. Matlab for it's not for Arjuna, it's for human being, it's for us to understand what is the greatness of the Lord. हम लोग सुनते हैं ना God is great. In the Christian also they say God is great. But how great? How do we understand इसका मापदंड क्या है? How do we understand how great God is? So he gives an analogy for us to understand that, amongst this I am Mandara, among mountains I am Mandara, amongst rivers I am this, amongst the skillful I am Arjuna. He says that so everyone understands ki the best possible of everything I am that. So Shukracharya, we should not mistake because he's guru of demons. That means he's some ordinary person. He's extremely powerful, extremely skillful. Like what happened was the Srimad Bhagavatam is mentioned. Okay, that when this Sagar Manthan happened, Sagar Manthan में क्या हुआ? Bali and all those demons were there, and Mohini finally they had stolen the Amrit, Kalash. Then they had stolen it, they were fighting, and Lord Vishnu incarnated as Mohini Murti and very lovingly took it away from them. वैसे smile करते करते he very lovingly fed all the devatas. And then finally the war broke out and all the demons were killed. All. सबको मार दिया. Shukracharya brought them back to life. इतना पावरफुल पर्सनालिटी है मतलब भाई कहना हाँ ठीक है दानवों का गुरु है तो कोई ऐसा आतू फातू नहीं very powerful personality. That is seva he has accepted. There is a coach of Pakistan cricket team. He may not enjoy it, but he's been given that service. So वैसे ही this person is he's the coach of the of the Danavas, and that's why he's very powerful. And it is described that because they were brought back to life, Bali was so grateful that he served Shukracharya like anything. So he's a Brahmana. Definitely he's a Brahmana. So he served him with so much faith and so much sincerity that Bali became powerful just by doing this. He's not worshipping Shukracharya, but just by sincerely worshipping lotus feet of his guru, who is Shukracharya, he became so effulgent, he became so powerful. But चेहरे पे इतना तेज था that when he walked into Indrapuri, Indra saw Bali coming. कुछ war भी नहीं हुआ, झगड़ा चालू भी नहीं हुआ है. He just marched towards seeing Bali, Indra and all the devatas ran away. Just by seeing it, you cannot say it. Then the Lord comes in another incarnation. So it's very beautiful. Srimad Bhagavatam all connected, interconnected है ये. But Shukracharya also says that it's the guru of Bali. Later on he tells Bali that अरे मैं तेरा गुरु है, मैं तेरे को मरे से जिंदा किया. You're not following me. That's why Shukracharya is also criticized because he was powerful, but he used his power for the wrong reason. Like, Hare Krishna. Yes. People will be here. Alias Gautam.
वो चार्ज पे नहीं वो एयरपोर्ट चार्ज पे अडप्टर ही पूरा प्लग करे पे
माँ सीता को दिव्य वस्त्र अभिषेक पहले दृष्टि तो जब माँ सीता का जो अपने पूरा वो अपने हरे की अभिषेक तो वहाँ से and Agastya
he visits to learn from Anusuya what is chastity.
अभी आते हैं भगवान अभी अब्दुल का वर्ष करने डले जा रहे आ चुके और देखिए क्या नाम है आयुष प्रदान करते ताकि के हृदय में तो भी रावण का वध करना होता है अगेन ही रिमाइंड
Actually, Matali the charioteer, he reminds that Agastya had told you this. Thank you, wonderful. So we, yes, bro, please. Yes, yes, bro.
Just it. Yes, yes.
So he wrote before the court
No, so Srimad Bhagavatam is, see, Srimad Bhagavatam is described. Hold on. So Srimad Bhagavatam is actually a compilation. It is a compilation of various conversations depending on who is asking the question and at what point of time. It is not in chronological order. पहले तो ये समझना है. So ऐसा नहीं है कि अभी परीक्षित और ये जो बात कर रहे हैं, there are stories that happened in Dwapar Yuga also. There are stories that happened in Satyuga also, but they are not that इस cycle का सत्युग नहीं. It is like बहुत पुराना सत्युग. Okay, but the Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken by Sukhdev Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj, where he told different stories, okay, of what happened in the past. The compilation of this was done by Vyasdev later. उसका लिखना जो है वो बाद में आया. But that is also mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So ये कैसे हुआ, क्या हुआ, very difficult to understand. वो goal है, वो cycle है. But we understand that these stories are some from previous yugas, some from current yugas, so it's difficult to.
Disciples of Vyasdev goes around
They won't find him. They won't find him.
That is already made.
Correct. Because the Srimad Bhagavatam, as I said, is not only what was spoken by Sukdev Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj. Srimad Bhagavatam is a collection of different. So it is described that our Srimad Bhagavatam has 18,000 verses. But when Lord Shiva spoke Srimad Bhagavatam to Mother Sita, तभी कितना verses बोलते हैं? Mother Parvati? Some 10 lakh verses or something like that. 1 lakh or 10 lakh, whatever. So much bigger number. Ramayana भी ऐसी है. Ramayana एक particular है, but ये is much bigger. So these are stories that have been passed on generation to generation through the oral, not by writing. Nothing was written. Everything was just spoken and heard and remembered and then passed on. But for the benefit of Parikshit Maharaj, Sukhdev Goswami had only 7 days. So 7 days में से ऐसे चुन के दिया stories, and most of the stories were in response to something that Parikshit. That's how it is. Hare Krishna. Bouncer question था. Thank you. I hope I answered. Srila Prabhupada की जय, श्री गुरुदेव की जय, श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय. गौरव प्रेमानंद जी. Thank you very much.